Alright, Eweb results. I have another video for you. I am done for the day because it was raining today, and rain equals silence on the phone. So, okay, here's what happened. Damned if yesterday I didn't have a customer call me complaining about exactly what I was warning customers about in my video about remodeling. And the short story is, she contracted a contractor to demo and reconstruct her home. The short story is she had mold, and her kid was breathing it and becoming very, very ill because of the mold problem in her house. It wasn't a whole bunch, but there was one leak, and it was enough, and it was persistent enough to become a problem. So she's hyper vigilant now about this particular issue. What happened was she contracted a contractor, 50% deposit. Contractor comes back a few weeks later. I need you to pay me more because payroll's coming up and we've gotten so far on the project. She goes, but wait, I've given you 50% and you haven't even done anything. Like, there's literally a pile of crap out in the yard, back and forth, back and forth. One person thinks this, one person thinks that, and next thing you know, the contractor resigned. Can you do that? But the short story is that this is so typical. I show up, all I'm doing is cut and dry what I do. I deliver a dumpster, I get rid of their stuff. And each time it gets to the point where there's confrontation, it's too late. By that time, the money's been spent on labor, the home is broken, and it takes a very sophisticated person to prevent the homeowner from getting frustrated. Okay, it's very personal. Their kid is sick. To the contractor, it's just repairing a building, right? So, how do you vet a contractor? It's got to be done up front. It's got to have this and that. And the typical, actually, believe it or not, my girlfriend and I were putting in a hardwood floor in her home this weekend, and it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. It was incredibly detailed. It was a pain in the ass. And that was doing it. She and I were the labor, and the person that was helping us had done it a bunch. So there was experience, there was knowledge about how to go through the process to do it, and still 100 square foot kitchen, tiny ass kitchen, took 2 days, 2 8.5 hour days. So when you vet a contractor to do work like this, you have to, everything must be in writing. As what I meant to say about me being a dumpster guy was, what I do is cut and dry. What a contractor does is not cut and dry, because he's got to lead you through the process. So, while the work, in other words, the work requires particular customers, it requires that the contractor build to a code. Putting a home back together could change, assuming the homeowner want this or want that or whatever, like, or add this or add that. And unless those things are determined on the front end, then it's really, really easy to, it's really easy for conflict to occur in that situation, because the homeowner has one vision, and during the process, there's trade-offs that have to be made. Well, do we do that? Do we add the bucket line? Do we add the plumbing? If we do that, then we gotta cut this, and if we do that, then we gotta brace it, and then we gotta put a footer, and oh shit, like what's, and if the homeowner's living in it, which frequently they are, and they see this stuff and the trade-offs that have to happen, that's when the conflict arises. That's when the discord starts to happen. That's when the negotiations break down, and it happens all. And then next thing you know, you're taking them to court. I saw a company last year. For me as a customer, for me as a dumpster guy, a $10,000 customer is a huge customer for me. I had a $20,000 remodel customer. It came from a single cold call. Okay, now after 9 dumpsters in a row, 9 dumpsters I picked up, and every single person told me, I'm taking this person to court. Okay, after 9 of those, that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I'm supporting that terrible. My reputation is worth more than the work that these people are doing. So, because reconstruction of an existing home in an existing space with inhabitants, the amount of work that happens it's not 1x, it's not 2, it's like 3 to 4 times the amount of work compared to a new construction, because there's no inhabitants. It has to be lived in. Appliances have to be moved. Dust has to be mitigated. You have to clean it frequently so that people can at least have some modicum of living standards. You have to dust control. You have to, and it's such a fucking headache that this kind of shit needs to be figured out up front. And if it isn't, it's so easy. It is so easy for 2 people, the homeowner and their expectations, and the contractor seeing the hard limitations that the home is presenting them after the demolition has occurred. The contractor's thinking, we got to make trade-offs. Like, right, your budget's only X. I can't work for an unlimited amount of time. I got to pay my guys. And once the budget's eaten up, most people can't pay for it twice. So that's why vetting your contractor first is the right thing to do. And if you need to, sleep on it. Sleep on it for 2 or 3 weeks. I guarantee you, the process is going to take more than 2 to 3 weeks if you're talking about a kitchen remodel or kitchen and bath remodel or 2 baths and whatever. So sleep on it for 2 weeks, and that person that gives you the slightest uneasiness will not be able to pull it off. I guarantee you. Okay. My name is Joseph Beatty, Dependable Dumpsters.